Thanks for stopping by to meet with me, Mrs. Johnson.
It's nice to see you again.
Hi, all right. So, I'm here to talk to you about your son, Bob. Let me just start out by saying, he's an excellent student.
Thank
He's
you.
doing very well. He participates well with others. He shows lots of enthusiasm in class, and he's always trying to get his work done as quickly as possible to talk, to everyone else. But, he still does an awesome job.
Good.
Regardless, he deserves a time after he finishes his work. So, I brought you here because I wanted to talk to you about the 4 areas that we assessed your son at for literacy. One of the areas being in phonics. Are you familiar with that?
Not really.
No? All right. So phonics basically is just the ability to discern the patterns between sounds and the letters that make those sounds. So just connecting those two to actually make the word. I just want to say he did very well in that.
Good.
The second area we assessed him in was vocabulary. The body, which is basically the body of words used in a specific language. I'm sure you're familiar with vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
Fluency, are you familiar with that?
No, not really.
So fluency is just basically the ability to read quickly and easily. It's the ability to decode words and understand the words read. Basically, if you can speak quickly and efficiently and understand the words that are coming off the page. And finally, comprehension we have is what we assessed him in, which is basically the ability to understand the words in a read text. So basically, before I get started talking about where the strengths that he was assessed in, I just wanted to ask you a couple of things. Let's see. So is there anything being done at home right now to aid in his reading?
We make books available for him. We go to the library at least once a week.
Okay. All right. And how much reading is he actually doing at home?
Well, he does his homework, reading, assignments,
Okay.
and maybe an hour.
An hour a day or
An
so?
hour a day, yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's some good efforts. And does anyone else in the family read in the house?
Yes, his father's an avid reader.
Okay, so he has that influence of his father,
Oh, yeah.
hopefully making him a better reader. Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, I just wanted to say that, like I said, he's doing an awesome job. His strengths right now, he's mastered phonics. We don't need to worry about that. He's able to discern the words and the sounds and the letters that make those sounds, which is great. His vocabulary is at level, which is awesome as well. So he's on par where he should be. I do have a couple suggestions later of how we can make it even better to hopefully excel if he wanted to do that. And then the third area of strength, I believe, would be his comprehension. He's able to recall the text, but there are some other strategies we can do to help him later on to excel when he moves on to high school.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to do a couple things here in class, actually. We're going to do something that's it's research-based. It's proven to actually improve literacy and reading in general. This one especially helps with comprehension. It's called tracks of thinking, which is basically allowing the students to recall. It allows the students to recall more information just by simply writing down something that they noticed surprising or some new information, maybe a question they had in their mind while they were reading, just on a sticky note and put it inside the book so that when they go back, they can recall those questions and maybe hopefully answer them or just have a better time recalling the text. Parrot reading is another thing we're going to try out as well. Basically, we're just going to pair them up with a partner. Both students are going to read together, maybe like a couple pages here and there, and they're going to, after each student reads, they're going to recall what they just read and tell it to the other partner. And so the last one we're going to work on too is reading to get the gist, it's called. Basically, this allows him to sum up the main ideas from the textbook, just kind of chunking up the reading, and at each chunk we're going to help him find the main point in the story. That's basically all we're going to do in class, which is, I feel like, will propel him to work or to get better in his comprehension, hopefully excelling in when he gets on to high school. So we also have I also have a couple strategies that I could recommend to you guys to do at home too, to improve on his reading. One of them is actually reading to get the gist again. Maybe, when he's doing those hours of reading, or the hour of reading at home, he can simply just tell you, after a certain section, maybe what the whole point of the story was, just to kind of, so that way he can recall the information. Hopefully it'll stick in his mind better.
Okay.
We can also do something called real world connections, which is, it kind of says it in the name, as you probably know. Basically, this is to help his vocabulary. So what he can do is it's to learn, or it's to study one word. All right, one word, maybe like a week. It doesn't have to be anything too intense, and just ask him to use it in a sentence throughout the day. At least 3 times a day if possible, so that way it kind of sticks in his mind. He kind of gets a feel for it. It'll improve his vocabulary tremendously. And finally, constructing memorable events is another strategy I recommend he do at home, which is basically maybe with the word that he was working on throughout the week. Just ask him of a time where it applied in his life. It'll help him kind of build that connection between the word and something that's already happened. So maybe he can, so that way he can just remember it better.
Okay. Will these strategies take a long time? Because between softball and soccer, and we don't have a whole lot of time at home.
Oh, I completely understand. These shouldn't take long at all. These are things that you can incorporate throughout your day. It could just be, simply asking a question, maybe even if you're on your way to softball or something like that.
Right.
You guys are talking about different experiences and, just interacting with each other. If you just remember what he was learning, like the words that he was studying, just bring it up or something like that.
Okay.
It shouldn't be too invasive of your time,
Okay.
I believe it'll help
Great.
a lot. And so yeah, like I said, your son's doing great. These are just a couple things that we wanted to work on to hopefully excel and propel him into high school. And yeah, do you have any other concerns for me or anything?
How can these strategies connect with his math, let's say, because he's struggling in math?
Okay, yeah. These strategies that's a great question you asked. These strategies are great because they're interdisciplinary. They basically can be used in any subject area. So we do have a lot of vocab in math, I know. So maybe he can use some of those strategies, seeing how he can apply these mathematical vocabularies in his daily life. Or especially the tracks of thinking, I think would definitely help with his math. I know you said he's struggling, and I've noticed that too. Hopefully, if he's able to write down some tracks of thinking, maybe like what's surprising about what the number means or anything like that, when he finds the answer, it'll help him kind of connect the content of the math to like real life. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Right.
So hopefully that kind of gave you an answer there. And yeah, is there anything else you have for me?
Definitely. No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, it's been nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too.
Can't wait to see you again.
Thanks.